and I'm telling it in the form of a story. But first, I think these lights you'll have to put off. Someone can control these lights. Those are the
It's visible.
lights, the main focus. Okay, so by the time he does the light adjustment, I'll start because we don't want to stress this. Now, actually speaking, when I was actually trying to find out from the many of the diabetic patients which I've met, because since I've been interacting and doing a lot of these diabetic camps, I've been finding out the primary reason of most of them having actually diabetes is stress. It's nothing much related to diet. There is diet involved in it, there is exercise involved in it, but mental stress is actually the primary cause of actually the increase in secretion of the hormone, with the glucose levels as well as the inactivity of the insulin. Now, what type of stresses are there? One thing is physical stress, which we cannot avoid because of our work pressures. Emotional and psychological stress is actually the main factors which are affecting especially the Goans. When Santosh said Susegat, I don't think Goans are any more Susegat now. Susegat was olden days during the Portuguese time. I don't think today any Goan is Susegat. He is always worried continuously. There is never a satisfaction that what I have is enough. We always want more. I don't think there is anybody who can say that I am Susegat today. That's what, Dil mange more. That's what. So that is how the opposite of stress is basically passion. Only when you start enjoying what you do, then only you can actually understand what is the difference between stress and passion. So if you are passionate about something and you enjoy something, please focus on your passion and not on your stress. Because what happens is the common causes of stress are basically depression, anxiety and personality disorders. And what this leads to, I have seen, is diabetes, high blood pressure as well as cardiac problems. So now, this is just in short the main hormones which are secreted, which I have just done a small study on this. Whenever there are any heartbreaking news, anything which hurts you, or fear factor, the hormone which actually gets secreted the most is cortisol. And this cortisol is actually responsible for increasing your blood sugar levels. So the more of negative thoughts that come to your mind, the more of cortisol gets secreted by the adrenaline. And this is how the thing starts working. And if it becomes the opposite, like say suppose you are like in a oxytocin is actually called as the love hormone. That is basically when you meet people and you meet them and they are your friends. Any friendship, any relationship is what will bring the oxytocin, which reduces the blood sugar level. Dopamine and serotonin are exactly whenever you have any good news and you feel really happy. So the opposite of stress is passion. You should feel happy with whatever you do, and for that, these are the hormones which are secreted. Now, what I have noticed actually in our body and the computer, both are the same. In the computer, we have something called hardware and software. Now, same way, now in the computer, it is basically the software which is programmed, and based on that, the hardware will give actions. So the functions are done by the hardware based upon what the software is tuned to. Now the same thing as far as the human mind is concerned. Our software is basically the subconscious mind and our hardware is basically the conscious mind. So the way the subconscious mind is programmed, based on that the conscious mind will act. So if we are programmed towards getting all the negative thoughts, like say for example, I'm not happy with this, I'm not worried, means I have a lot of relationship problems, I have a lot of family problems and I have a lot of stress in that. So automatically the subconscious mind starts getting programmed towards these viruses. And these viruses are responsible for the secretion of the hormones, and based on that the action starts as far as your body is concerned. So what I have noticed is, in this, there was a small story which I'll tell you of my own story, and if you actually believe in this, this story is basically a real fact, but it happened many years ago, but this I'll tell you, which I want to share today. It's a story between me and my wife, that is Namita. What is to happen is, myself being a dental surgeon, I used to be very busy with the clinic work, and plus involved with the Lions Club, involved with the Dental Association, plus involved with BNI, and all the various organizations. So much so that so much of tension, because we had to organize this event, that event, and something or the other, we were like always having something to do. Agenda is always there. So when you come home late, automatically the first thing is always start complaining that food is not proper, food is not on time, you have not kept water for bath, you have not kept things ready for this. So we keep on complaining because of the stress which is going on outside. And then suddenly we started noticing when you start complaining, automatically you get complaints back. Because whatever you say, you get it back. If you start appreciating, you get back the thing. If you start comparing, then people will start comparing you. Whatever you say will come back to you, because that is, life is like an echo. So if you start complaining, automatically you'll start getting complaints from everyone. So then suddenly one day in the night, I get a dream. And in this dream, God sends one angel and he says, Celso, I'm giving you one chance. I'm granting you 3 gifts. But after that, I will just go. You choose whatever you want, and based on that, I will grant you, and then I will go. This is now happening in the dream. Okay, so the first thing I start saying now, one thing is, as far as my wife is concerned, Namita, she's also having a lot of friends. She's too busy with her hospital work and whole day and night on WhatsApp. So the thing is, she doesn't have time for home also. So I don't actually enjoy much that relationship. So she is busy with her friends, I am busy with my friends, we are not helping each other, and we don't get time to meet with each other. So it's better you take her away. You say, yeah, sure? I said, yes, no problem. So then immediately he says, I have granted your first gift. If you want, you can check. Her heartbeat has stopped, her breathing has stopped. If you want, you can check it out. When I check that thing, suddenly I start wondering, what is wrong with me? And then now whom I am going to tell? Because this is still in the night. Like, how am I going to tell my mother-in-law and father-in-law about this? What am I going to tell them now? Now who is responsible for this death? I didn't know now what to do. So I was just wondering what exactly now I should do, because by the time the news spreads all over, I'll come to know that everybody will come and start crying at home and telling big stories now about her, especially the work she has done in Hospicio Hospital, the way now 28 years she has been working there. All these things people will start telling me what to do now. So I start thinking now, what is to be done? So then I said, okay, one mistake I have done in my life. So now the second gift is, you please bring her back to life. Are you sure? He asked. I said, why not? Yes. You please bring her back to life. So I said, okay. So the angel says, it's granted. Now if you want, you can check. She's already breathing. You just check and see. You can see her heart beating. You can even see her lungs moving. So I said, thank God now. So then the angel says, now you have only one last chance. Now you tell, you want to phone a friend, you want to take a class, you tell, I'm only giving you a last chance. And then I start thinking, what I should do exactly. And then finally I say, now just like how other people have started appreciating the services or whatever my wife has done, give me just this gift of appreciation. If you can give me this gift of appreciation, I'll be the most happy person, rather than depreciation. So then he said, okay, it's granted, and he disappears. And then I get up from my sleep and I start looking, yes, she's sleeping next to me. I'll then remain awake till 5 o'clock. The time she gets up, the first sentence I say, I don't know how I'm so lucky to have you with me over here. I said, and then I went to work. I went back to the clinic and finished work at around 7:30 in the clinic, and when coming back home, down below when I reached the staircase only, I've started getting the smell of a biryani like. And I'm wondering, all these years she has never prepared biryani for me. How is that today suddenly she has prepared it? And then when I asked her, what is it that made you make this biryani? He's saying, it's only that one word which you said in the morning. And then I went back to the clinic also the next day. There also, because I appreciated the assistants and as well as my nurses, you won't imagine, from the next day the clinic is clean. Everything is done. So I said, with this gift of appreciation, I decided that you have to go into something called this balance sheet of life. Now, if you look at the balance sheet, if you prepare a rough balance sheet of yourself, and if you write on one side, what are the blessings that God has blessed you with? Like for me, it is the gift of life, family, friends, siblings, a roof for shelter, financially self-sufficient, all my 5 senses, and the strengths and courage to do everything that I can do. Like even now having all the friends over here as diabetics with me, it's like a pleasure that I'm having now so many friends with you. So these are all my assets. And on the liability side, I'm trying to find out what I don't have. And actually speaking, even I try to do my maximum thing. These are only the things that I want. I don't even need it. But then, whilst containing and whenever I see these things, have I ever asked, like, who has given me all these things free of cost? And normally speaking, whenever I have my prayer session, where do I focus on? Do I focus on thanking him for this, or I focus on asking him for more? Are you sure you go for all the novenas, masses and all for thanking or for asking for more? You go to Valankani, you go to Tirupati, you go anywhere for asking for more or for thanking? You cannot do both. You cannot do both. And the thing is, let me tell you, whenever you start focusing on your wants, you will never be able to be happy in life. But when you start focusing on your strengths, definitely you can enjoy life much better. So count your blessings rather than what you don't have. Just because someone else has it doesn't mean to say you should have it. Don't compare yourself with others because each one is unique. Imagine if all of us were the same. Imagine if all of us had the same qualities. Imagine everybody was the same, even like everyone was like Dr. Celso. Is it possible?
No.
So each one is unique. But where are we focusing? Are we focusing on our strengths or on our weaknesses?
On our weaknesses.
And that is what creates diabetes. So from today, if you want to actually stop diabetes, if you want to heal diabetes, start focusing on your strengths. And every time, whenever you're praying, this is what your conscious mind, if you do it for 21 days, I'm telling you, your software will start changing and it will start looking at what is positive rather than negative. And if your software starts planning and looking at this side rather than that side, the viruses, these are called viruses. And actually speaking, the root cause of all evil is money. Money is actually the root cause of all evil, whether it is relationships, whether it is fights, whether it's anything. And that devil is the one which actually attracts everyone who is there on the liability side. But if you look on the asset side, when you're blessed with so many things, why have you to worry about those things which you don't have? Do you really need it or do you want it? Ask yourself. And then always thank the one who has given it to you. So if you do this exercise twice a day, thank him in the morning and thank him in the night. And see whether your life starts changing. And never ever ask him. Because he knows what exactly you require. He knows whether you need something or not. And even if suppose something bad happens, always believe that whatever happens, happens for good. And if it happens, you'll see within 2 days, you'll say, thank God it happened. Because of that, my life was changed. And that is how always God has got different plans for each one of us. So just have faith in him. Just believe in him. And start thanking him rather than asking him. Don't demand. In the sense, he is not a person like whom you like shopkeeper, you can demand, give me this, give me this, give me this. No. You have to only respect and say, thank you for whatever you have given me, you decide my destiny. And once you are positive in life, this exercise called prayer can change your life forever. So please try to focus on your strengths, and if you can, today itself or even by tomorrow, write down. If you write it down and then read it every day, your life will change definitely. Try to write it down on a piece of paper and see the difference. You will come to know what is life. So for this gift of life, let's thank the Almighty today for having brought us all together today for here this World Diabetes Day. Because this is for the first time, even when I was at the cabinet meeting at Karnataka this morning, all of them are surprised because Lions clubs normally do only diabetes detection camps, but there's never a follow-up camp. Nobody ever follows up and tells that yes, diabetes is reversible. So even today they were doing testing just for the sake, okay, just tested a sugar but no records maintained. When you don't maintain records, you cannot see your evaluations, whether you are improving or not. But if we maintain the records, and that's how the Living Happily with Diabetes clubs came into consideration, and today we can say that yes, as of now we have started 8 of them, out of which 4 have already started moving very fast. And very soon more clubs are starting because many people now, especially the Director of Health Services, has actually seen this benefit and they never knew that we could do it in the primary health centers itself. Because we have space, we have the facilities, and all the centers will definitely want to do it. And I will appreciate like the way Saligaon Primary Health Center has taken the initiative to start on their own. They brought all their patients together and go to see the patients themselves were happy, and many of them are over here now. So you can see the benefits of starting this living happily with diabetes. So the best form of mental exercise to increase your oxytocin and dopamine levels and decrease your cortisol is just learn how to pray. From today, never ask, only thank. And prayer is basically a thanksgiving prayer. It is not an asking prayer.
So if in case by the time whenever you start praying, if you are asking, try and stop that. If you can stop asking, definitely your diabetes also will go down, definitely. Okay, so once again a very big thank you. And to end this program, I would be very thankful to Mr. Govind Desai from Canara Robeco Mutual Fund and Mr. Sanket Prabhu Desai. Both of them have been very much helpful as far as making this hall arrangements as well as the sound system, the banner, all the arrangements were done by them. And I'm very fortunate that since I've been in this financial field, we have all the mutual funds supporting us in this, and that is how we are able to do all these events for you. So I request Mr. Govind to come and propose the vote of thanks. Thank you.